Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever the world you're joining in. Happy New Year 2021. Welcome back to our monthly webinars by IEEE students. I'm Amsi Krishna Jagla, your chair for Virtual Speakers Bureau for 2021, and today we are going to speak about very important topic about beat the deadlines and claim your rebates and how to file a student branch reporting. And when we started thinking about this webinar, and we didn't find a better person than Theodoros. Thank you, Theodoros, for joining us today. It is great to have you among us. To everyone who's listening out to Theodoros is a region student representative of Region 8. I'm sorry about that, Region 8. And I've been working with Theodoros for the last year for Virtual Speakers Bureau. And welcome, and let's get on.
Thank you very much, Vamsi, for the introduction. Thank you for inviting me here to the first webinar of the year. I can say that I'm really excited to be part of this webinar. My name is Theodoros. I'm the regional student representative of the IEEE Region 8. And just give me a moment to share my presentation. Okay, can you see my presentation?
Yes, we do.
Okay, thank you very much. So today we will talk about how to beat the deadline and claim your rebates. The most important thing to beat the deadline and claim your rebates is to file your student grants reports. So let me begin with the benefits that student branches has to offer. Student branches give students the opportunity to interact with academia and industry, to network with other students and professionals, and to organize events and projects virtually or on campus. Current pandemic situation has definitely affected your student grants operation, as well as your planning for 2021. So the need of a good planning for this year is needed more than ever. So let's see some steps that will help you with that. Start by organizing a meeting with your executive committee, which consists of all the branch officers, namely your chair, your vice chair, your secretary, your treasurer, and of course your counselor. Identify your goals and objectives for 2021. Plan the most times activities, and develop your action plan for each activity. Planning your activities successfully is important for your student branch success. When selecting an event, you should question yourself to evaluate its potential. Important questions include: do we have the resources to carry this event? Especially in the virtual events, the platform selection is very important, as well as the platform management. Will this event satisfy the needs of our members? Will it attract new ones? How does it meet the goals of our student grants that we selected, as we said in our previous slide? Have in mind that all the new student branch chairs and all new officers in general should first familiarize with the IEEE as an organization before holding your first executive committee meeting and planning the year. You should see some steps in the slide for your first steps. Yet I believe the most important you should know is the help that the IEEE Center for Leadership Excellence provide you. Now let's see how you can have access to more steps, more resources for your role. Just go to the ieelearning.org/CLE and click volunteer. Now you're able to see role descriptions, action plans, and trainings for roles of your student branch. For example, you can click here and see the training for the student branch chair role. You can go here and go to student branch positions, select chair, and you can see a 3-page description of the student branch chair position. You can go to the action plans, and by finding your role, for example, again, the student branch chair, you can see some action plans, some actions you should take in the first 30 days. And of course, some key administrative items you should focus on. As you can see, IEEE provides you all the necessary tools for successful student branch management, including all the necessary trainings and reportings. So, we can go to one of the most important things that student branches are absolutely encouraged to do: the student branch reporting. You should report your officers, your annual plan, and your meetings and events. Reporting allows students, sectional and regional volunteers to really understand what has been happening at your student branch, and they will be informed about any successes that you have in terms of management, membership, and finances. It also demonstrates which student branches are active, and there's really not a lot that you have to do. Trust me, it's just 3 different steps, 3 different simple steps for reporting. The first one is your officers. In order for IEEE to communicate effectively with you, you need to it needs to know who your counselor is, who your chair is, as well as the rest of your executive committee, in order for them to get all the communications they need to serve during their term. The next, and let me say the most important piece of reporting, is the annual plan, which is designed in such a way to have student branch leaders and section leaders work together to think about the goals of the student branch and what your student branch may want to do during the year. You can also include your branch treasurer in the preparation of the reports. We do understand that there may be some changes to the final outcome of your plannings, but reporting your thoughts and ideas in the annual plan reporting is the ultimate goal to start your term successfully. The last step for reporting is for you to report your meetings and events as they happened. This will help you to update the final outcome of the annual plan, and any updates that you need to make in terms of changes to the annual plan and in terms of what actually happened, you will be able to make them in the meetings and events reporting. Here you can see the reporting activity stream. And as you can see, the annual reporting portal opens in August. From September to November, you're able to connect with your sections and your members to develop both your membership and your plan. The final deadline, as you can see, is February 1st. As you can imagine, this is a pretty large window. This is a pretty large window to report. Let's say you decide to report your planning in August. Well, then you don't need to report again your plan in January. So as long as you complete your planning for the year between August and 1st of February, you're all set. Currently, the most important reporting that you really have to submit is your officers and your annual plan, and we will focus on both of them with a tutorial for each of them. You can find links and details about reportings in the IEEE Students website under Student Branches tab in the Student Branch Reporting link. Let's see together how we can report your officers. Let us suppose that I have just elected as chair in the example university. The officer reporting, just let me mention here that the officer reporting should be done by an existing officer, such as the current chair or counselor. The first step is to visit the this URL, officers.vetools.ieee.org. So you will go to this page. Here I should mention that you should be aware that between Friday 29th January and Saturday 30th of January, you won't be able to report your officers and your annual plan. So be aware of these too. Now, after you visit this page, the next step is to log into your account and click the Manage Officers button. Now, it's time to select your organizational unit by typing your university name. So I said that I elected chair in the example university, so I will just click here and type example university. Then we will see a list with all the organizational units of the example university, including the student branch and all its chapters and affinity groups. Now let's click on the student branch and continue with the officer reporting. As we said, we suppose I have elected as chair. So here we can see a tool with all the position titles and all the current officers. So we have to just click on the chair position and then click the Add Officer button. At this time, let me say that these 6 positions are the only available positions allowed. So you cannot request a new officer position. So let's click Add Officer. Let's first select the chair and then click Add Officer. And a pop-up will appear, which we should fill in with some information. First of all, we should type the member number of the volunteer which was elected. And then we should add this start date and the end date of his or her term. Let me mention that the term is usually for 1 year for all student branch officers, except counselors, which is usually for 2 years. After we complete this pop-up, we can just click Submit button and continue. As you can see, my name is shown next to the previous officer's name in a yellow background, mentioned Modified Pending Save. In order to save the changes, you have to click on View and Confirm Pending Changes button. Here, we can review all of our changes. We can see the organizational unit name, the position of the officer, the information of the volunteer, as well as information about his or her term. Then, to finish the reporting, just click the Save button. Easy, isn't it? Do not forget to report all your officers right after your elections. Now we can proceed and see how you can report your annual plan. The first step is to visit the sbr.vetools.ieee.org. Here I can mention that all the links, you can find them on the IEEE students website. Again, log into your account and click to the New Plan tab. There are 6 categories, namely Student Branch Annual Plan, Branch Operations and Funding, Activities, Goals, Signatures, and Save and Submit, which you should click to each one of them and fill all the required fields to each one. So now we will go to one by one. We will see them one by one, and we will see what we should report. Let's start with the first tab, the Student Branch Annual Plan tab. In the first text box, you should type your university name and select your student branch from the drop-down menu, like we did in the officer reporting. Let me mention at this point that after selecting your student branch, some fields may be filled in automatically by the system. For example, the student branch chair email and the student branch URL. Now in the following fields, you should fill in with the student branch chair name and your student branch chair email if it is not filled in automatically. And then you should fill in the student branch URL and the student branch email address. In the pre-filled student branch email, student branch chair email, if the pre-filled student branch chair email is not the email of the current chair, you should consider first visiting the official reporting for your student branch. Also, let me mention that the URL of your student branch, it may be the website of your student branch, or maybe an official page of your student branch in social media. Now let's go to the next tab, which is the branch operations and funding tab. After the basic information you entered before, you should describe your student branch operations and how you obtain your funding. You can list your committees, mention some best management practices you use, as well as the total funds on hand at the beginning of the year. Let's go to the next tab, which is the activities tab. Here, you should indicate how many activities that your student branch organize in each category for each month of the year. As you can see, there are 4 categories in which you can include different types of events or meetings. Let me mention that you should organize at least 4 events or meetings per year to be considered as an active student branch. In the Goals tab, you should briefly describe your goals and what you will try to achieve in the year to come. Please let us know all your thoughts and concerns. Next is, I think it's the most important tab, it's the Signatures tab. Here you should fill in the emails for specific volunteers. Now, why you should do that? Because these volunteers will receive a copy of your annual plan reporting, and your branch chair and your branch counselor will receive a second email in order to sign this plan reporting. If you don't know all the emails, you can visit the provided link here, or you can always find your section and region officer emails in the section and region websites. Here, let me mention, and that's very important for every student branch, that you should not worry if someone does not receive a verification email. If the student branch annual plan reporting is successfully listed in the Submitted Plans tab, then you are all set. Let me show you which is the Submitted Plans tab in the sbr.vetools.ieee.org. Let me sign into my account. Here is the Submitted Plans tab. And if your annual plan is listed here, then you don't have to worry about nothing. Then we go to the final tab, in which you can give a name to your plan and submit it by clicking the Submit button. I think that the annual plan reporting is also pretty easy. So do not forget to report your annual plan due February 1st. It's in about 4 days. Now, it is important to know the benefits of the student branch reporting. There is a financial benefit if you report by the deadline, which we call a rebate. This amount of money depends on the number of your student members as of 31st of December of each year. So now it will be in the 31st December of 2020. If you report your annual plan, you will receive money from the headquarters, and the money will be sent to your section. So you will need to be in touch with your section treasurer to receive them. There is $50 for student branches with fewer than 50 members, and $100 for student branches with 50 or more student members. There is also you will receive also $2 per student branch member, plus an additional $1 per student branch chapter member. As we saw in our example before with the example university, the example university had 1 chapter. Now, let's consider that this example university has 50 members and the chapter has 10 members. So 50 members mean $100 plus $2 times 50, which is $100 too, plus $1 times 10, which is equal to $10. So our example university will get $100 plus $100 plus $10. So it will receive about $210 as a total rebate for 2021. So a question you may have could be how you can see how many members your student grants have, as well as your chapters. As a student grants officer, so only the student grants officers can view this tool. You have the ability to use a tool called IEEE Analytics. You're able to get more information about membership statistics and total information of the student members of your school. So just go to tblanalytics.ieee.org, log into your account, and then click to the students category here. So you will be able to see all the statistics you want for your membership of your student grants and its chapters. At this time, let me remind you the Future 50 promotional code for 50% discount for student memberships. Don't forget to share it with your members and renew your membership. Also, you can find more financial support for your members and volunteers through grants, scholarships, awards, and conferences. You can find all these opportunities in the IEEE Students webpage. Having covered the main part of our presentation, let's focus on some important things you need to know for a successful planning. You can read other events, meet other students, and get in touch with your local section to find more ideas for your events. Do not forget that your local section is the connection between students and IEEE higher grade members, and you can always reach them for support to your activities. Through the branch section connection, you will be able to understand what's happening at a larger level in the IEEE organization and to understand that the IEEE is more than what's happening on your campus. Here you can find some virtual or in-person event ideas. Some idea could be to collaborate with other OUs, such as other IEEE student branches, young professionals, women engineering, Ithaca New chapters, society chapters. You could also participate in competitions, or you can just publish a student branch newsletter. And you can always participate in IEEE programs. You can find many student resources, including all these mentioned in this slide, in the IEEE Students website. So you can visit the IEEE Students digital presence at students.ieee.org. Just click Student Members Enter here. And here you can find all the information you want. For example, you can find the best practices, the student grants reporting, the officer training. You can find some of the member benefits. You can find the opportunities of the Virtual Speakers Bureau, the Student Professional Awareness, as well as the funding and grants we mentioned before. IEEE provides you also with some educational resources for various pre-university and university events. Some of the resources are the tryengineering.org, trycomputing.org, trynano.org, the IEEE Explore Digital Library, the IEEE TV, and the IEEE e-learning library. You can visit ieee.org/education to find more about the educational resources that are available for you. Now, you can find some additional resources through programs such as the EPICS in IEEE and the IEEE site. The EPICS in IEEE is an abbreviation for Engineering Projects in Community Service. You can just visit the epics.ieee.org to find more information and include one of your projects to this program. The IEEE side is for humanitarian technology projects. You can visit the site.ieee.org to find more information for how to include your projects in this program. You can also find more opportunities in some groups that the IEEE has. One of the groups is the IEEE Women Engineering. So you can visit the we.ieee.org for more information about this affinity group and how it can help you with your activities. Also, you can visit the IEEE Young Professionals in yp.ieee.org to find more opportunities as a young professional. Let me mention that young professionals are all the IEEE members that have gained their first degree. It's 10 years from the first degree. I think 15 years from the first degree. You can also visit the Eta Kappa Nu Honoring Society in the hkn.ieee.org to find more information for opportunities too. Now, let me say a few things about an awesome program that the IEEE offers, that the IEEE students offer. It's a free program that it can help you in this current pandemic situation, and it's the Virtual Speakers Bureau. In this program, you can choose over 270 different topics, technical or professional, in 16 different languages, and host a virtual live interactive event. You can find more information in the link here. Also, you can find in opportunities and virtual speakers. Now, let's see the process of hosting a virtual speaker your student runs step by step. First of all, you can check the IEEE student website for the virtual speakers. You can go to students/branches to find more information. Then you should review the speakers list and topic, which you can find right here. Here are all the speeches which you can request. Then you can fill the application form and request a speaker. You can find the form here. So just click apply for your virtual speaker here and fill this form. Then the Virtual Speakers Bureau team will reach you and connect you with your speaker. After connecting you with your speaker, you can plan your event. You can discuss the time and details with your speaker, set up the webinar platform you want for an online presentation, promote your virtual event, and host your virtual speaker. Never forget to fill the form. You should fill the form and give your feedback to the Virtual Speakers Bureau. You can also connect with IEEE students via Collaboratech in the Global Student Exchange community. You can find the IEEE students in IEEE TV in the IEEE Students channel, and you can follow and like the IEEE students Facebook page. Last but not least, you can always visit the official IEEE students webpage and contact with the IEEE support staff for student services in the provided contact forms in the IEEE students website. So thank you very much for your attention, and I think that's all I had to say for the student grants reporting and other resources that will help you with your plan.
Thank you, Theo. I mean, I learned a lot of things, and what are the benefits that a student branch and a student member will really get from this. And one of the key things that we really missed out, I feel that we missed out, is that the date of submission. The date of submission is 1st February. You have to submit your student branch reporting by 1st of February. And there are a couple of questions I have here. Yeah, one is, where can we get back the live recording? Is there any link? Yes, this shall be streamed soon on IEEE TV, maybe in a day or two. You will have to give us some time to the TV team to work on it and make it live stream happen. And the second question is, what is the average number of courses on the Center for Leadership Excellence? So, Theodoros, maybe you want to take that question.
Yes, of course. There are many courses. There are courses for each student branch position. So if you are a student branch chair, you can see courses for your position. If you're a vice chair, you can see courses for your position. There are a lot of courses that will help you with all the process, and they will give you some important information about what you should know when you are in this position.
And the other question is, I'm unable to access the site. What should I do? I think the one thing you have to do is to log into the site which you are missing, for which you are not able to access to the courses. That's how I'm seeing that question as. And I think this question, I would love if Theodoros or Sharena take this question. Recently, we have observed the following: after the annual plan submission, the chair and the councillors are not receiving emails for electronic signatures. And after downloading the submitted plan, there are multiple rows of activity section unfilled. What is the solution for this?
Okay, I can say that we are aware of these problems. So you don't have to worry about this. If your student planning, the plan of your student branch is shown in the submitted plans, there's nothing that you should worry. There's not it's no problem if the electronic signatures emails does not have not been sent to your chair and councillor. And there is no problem if some rows are unfilled, even though you fill them. So there is nothing to worry. Leave the rest to us. Just fill the annual plan, click the submit button, check that it's successfully submitted in the submitted plans tab, and then let everything else to us.
Fantastic. Understood. And while we wait for one more minute, if you can see if there are any questions coming in, I just want to ask you this question, Theodore. So you took up this recently as a role as a region student representative, and yeah, we are speaking more about student membership and also about reporting and all. So what do we do about? I'm just going a little off the grid so that I can wait for one more question to get this. And uh, what is that you expect the student branches to do? Not particularly region 8, but also overall as a region, as an RSR. What is your perspective of it?
I strongly believe that the student branches can help students develop their skills, their soft and the hard skills. So, as my personal opinion, I think that every student should be a part of a student branch, should join its local student branch. You can obtain many soft skills as well as hard skills by organizing events, attending programs. You can learn things such as project management. So I strongly support every student to be part of the IEEE Students Program, to join an IEEE student branch, and try to make a plan what they need, what they want to do, to focus on what the university needs and what they want to see in their university, and then implement events and projects.
Fantastic. And is there a way to access the slides and instructions after this live stream? Yes, we are definitely working on this, that how these slides to reach out to you. And also this recording, I am hoping students team will come back to you shortly with these slides, and we'll keep you all informed where these slides are being posted. We'll try our best to make sure they're reaching out to you. The code Future 50 has an end date for yours. We would restrain ourselves from commenting now on that question. We are focused more towards student branch reporting at the moment. So, which is more critical for us. We have only a due date of 5 days now, or 4 days, let's say. So, we just want to make sure that everyone is filing their reports. And before you go, Theo, I have one more question. How does it feel being the RSR for Region 8? What are your plans for 2021? I know this is like year of opportunities, year of opportunities out of distress. We came out of something like a pandemic, and what is your view and what are you looking for 2021 as a year?
I can say I'm very glad to serve the IEEE Region 8 as the regional senior representative, and I hope that we'll have time to do great things. It's very important to volunteer. I believe totally in volunteering. So for me to serve the IEEE students is very important. I started as a chair of a student. I started as a member of a student branch. I continued as a chair, as a mentor of my student branch, and currently the regional student representative position is, even though it's really challenging, I hope it will be very beneficial both for me and the students in IEEE Region 8.
Okay, I have one last question coming in from here. Maybe if I get some more questions, I'm not going to let you go that easily. In a case a student branch is formed or revived in the month of January, is it advisable for the SB to submit an annual plan? If yes, will they be eligible for a rebate and which corresponding year?
Okay, I can answer to the first part. We totally advise every student branch to submit the annual plan. The annual plan actually will help the students to organize better their events and organize and the student branch operations in more efficient manner. So I totally advise you to submit the annual plan. As well as of the rebate, I think Serena maybe could be more. It will be better if Serena answer this question.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Loud
Okay,
and clear.
you could just, I can't see the question, so if you could just repeat the question for me, I'm not able to view them.
Yes, in a case a student branch is formed or revived in the month of January, is it advisable for the SB to submit an annual plan? If yes, are they eligible for a rebate and for which corresponding year would they be eligible for a rebate?
Okay, so we do get this question quite a bit. Yes, we absolutely would advise for them to submit an annual plan. What would happen is, let's just say that student branch had students the prior year as of December 31st. If there were students at that school that were active IEEE members, then they would be eligible for a rebate if they reactivated that branch. New branches, however, would not be eligible until the following year. So it just really depends on sort of whether or not they're reactivating or if they're brand new. But they do have the ability to, receive a rebate if they had active student members and maybe they didn't know, and then they reactivated their branch.
Sure, that helps, Sharana. And there's lots of questions to you, Sharana. Actually, everyone wants to know how will these slides reach them. Everybody wants to get hold of these slides, whatever we have presented right now. How can we make sure that these slides are reaching the student branches?
Okay,
And the student branch.
Go ahead. Perfect. We will make sure they're posted. The link will be on our social media, IEEE Students Facebook page, also within the Global Student Exchange, within IEEE Collaborative. And for all branch leaders, we have a monthly newsletter. So you definitely want to make sure you're reported as an officer, because we can include sort of a recap link there for next month. And as long as you get that newsletter, you'll have the link to the live stream as well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
As a branch, okay, Theodoros, this question is to you. As a student branch chair, you just told us that you started as student branch chair. What are the qualities that are needed?
I think that the only thing you should have is a vision. You should have. You just need to. If you want to make some events, to make something different, then just apply for a student branch chair. Just meet the other students in your student branch. There's no specific qualification, especially for students. Students can learn very easily, and that's what a student branch is. It's a way that students will be able to learn more things, will be able to gain as I said before, both soft and hard skills to learn how to manage a brand. So it's not something that you shouldn't have a specific qualification. The only thing you should have is the need to make something, to create an event, to create an impact, I could say, in your university and in general.
And as it always says, leadership is not a license to do less; it is a responsibility to do more. So that's how you go ahead, help your student branch members and volunteers to work more. And one last question, I just wanted to take this last question. In case of any errors such as email IDs, such as region chair, during the annual plan submission, will the plan still be considered? Is there any provisions to edit a submitted plan, or should we submit a new plan with changes?
I think that if you don't have errors that they don't if you have some errors, the fields will be red and you won't be able to submit your plan. So if there isn't that, and I see that it's assuming the plan reflects in the submitted section, so there's no need to worry.
Sure. That's great. It was great having you, Theo. I'm sure it's a great learning for every one of us here. I'm sure all the student branches must have learned something today on how to file an effective report and submit their. And they are now going to meet the deadlines and get the student branch rebate up to their bank accounts. So thank you so much, Theo. It was great having you. Thank you for accepting our request in a very short notice. Congratulations on your new stint as a Region Student Representative for Region 8. Thank you, Garal, Shirena, and Robert for all helping up in setting up this process, and also Lisa, who's not here, but making sure this is happening right before the deadlines. Thank you so much for everyone who is joining us. We'll make sure this recording is made available as soon as possible, and also the slides are available through our social media channels and Global Student Exchange on IEEE Collaboratech. We look forward to seeing you on our next monthly webinars. We are coming soon. We are coming back very, very soon with also a revised virtual speakers bureau. Make sure you request a speaker and start hosting your first event for the year 2021. Thank you so much. That's all for today. Good night, good day, and have a great week ahead, and have a great year ahead.